All right, welcome to
The
Big
Big
Picture, where we help you see
Think
and act big. And hello, Dave.
Yes.
Wow, this is a very beautiful set, and guys, we are here at the A Space Cebu. And if you don't know what the A Space is,
Yeah, A-Space is like the home of creative freelancers, those who are in
yeah,
the tech world, do stuff that they love to do or work here. It's a co-working space basically. And
right.
it's located at Crossroad Manila, so you guys should check it out. It's in Cebu.
It's and they have really comfy and cool stuff here. And
Yes.
today we are gonna be bringing you one of the creative guys that are they call it
Gal,
spacers.
rather. Yeah, they call it spacers.
Spacers.
here.
One of the spacers here at A Space, and she is a very creative wedding photographer. Though she does different types of photography, and a co-founder of Saunders. Did I pronounce it right?
Yeah, Saunder Films.
Saunder Films, and you will know what that is as we talk about her story later. Ladies and gents, help me welcome Seph Aparente.
Hi guys, hi guys.
Clap, clap, clap. All right, hi Seph, how are you?
I'm doing good. The weather is better now.
Oh yeah. I love our spot here, and we can see a beautiful what do you call this, like afternoon view. All right, so Seph, welcome to the big picture.
Yeah, it's my first time and I'm very excited.
Yeah,
in
this
a
is a
podcast, exactly.
podcast slash videocast.
Videocast.
Right.
Yeah, so we post it on YouTube.
All right,
And-
so we invited Seph here because for the past how many weeks I think we've invited business people
startup people.
and startup people, and then we're thinking like we would like to bring in someone really creative and at the same time doing startup, building their own startup, and we thought of Seph. So just a little background there. Seph and I knew each other for maybe 3-4 years.
Yeah, three.
No, my
4,
daughter is like what?
5 years ago. I
So,
think
so
I was still in college
oh
by that
yeah,
time.
my goodness, and so we worked together at an SEO company where we spend a lot of time spamming.
Definitely.
You shouldn't share that online.
I spent my whole weekend doing that.
Yeah, so if you received an email of a Nigerian prince, nah, that's not us. All right, so but now Seph, can you walk us through, how did you became this wedding photographer, and then now you're building your brand and your company?
Okay.
As I think as a student, you started as a student, right?
Well, when I was
Way back.
when I was in college, I was just a hobbyist. I just like taking photos, but then that didn't really become a career for me because it was just a channel for me to actually de-stress, do something that I really love, aside from school. So after college, well, I graduated BS Psychology in San Carlos. So I did have my first job as a training specialist for a year.
That was not your first job, the SEO thing.
The SEO thing was like my
It was
my
your-
first job in college.
First-
Oh,
And then
during
my
college.
first job after college was my training specialist job at.
What are you doing? Like you're training someone to do
So
what?
basically, what I do is I'm a training specialist for Impact. We work under Procter and Gamble, so we train sales, team building,
interesting.
brand.
So it's aligned to your
Your course, yeah.
Yes, it was very fun because you get to actually teach in the real life setting, train people, give them jobs. Hopefully, if they
Awesome.
do pass, yeah. And
So
then I get to
wha-
travel a lot by that.
Yeah, and you mentioned like it's fun. So but you end up like stopping.
Yeah, I did quit.
You quit
I
after a year?
resigned after a year because I've always loved Cebu. I know I'm not from Cebu. I'm born and raised in Mindanao. I just came here for college, like my siblings. But then for my first job, what happened was I was in Manila. I was based there already for like 11 months. That wasn't part of the plan. Although I was traveling constantly to almost everywhere here in the Philippines. Then there was a point in my life that I realized that I really wanted photography. I wanted to do photography, even for the sides.
So this is something that you've done in college, but it's
Yeah.
only like as a
a
hobby.
hobby. Then when I
And
was
now, okay.
when I was working, I realized I want to do it like on the weekends. Maybe I can start,
All right.
doing that on the weekends.
Weekend
But
gigs.
I never did that because I was in Manila and I was constantly flying in and out, which was always in my head. That was bugging me. Like, okay, I need to find a job that would make me base here in Cebu so that I can still maybe have a day job and work as a wedding photographer
You
or
have a
freelancer.
side gig.
Yeah, side gig, because
Nice.
you can't just drop everything
Right.
and then go to weddings without knowing anything at all.
Right.
Well, I'm not like I don't have like all the money in the world to spend and like risk it all, right? So that's what I was thinking that time.
All right.
So I do have a question. Are you a full time wedding photographer now?
Yes, for 2 years now, I've been doing it.
So that was your
full-time.
first main job, then you switched.
Yes, I switched and took the leap of faith.
Cool.
So you did not take that you did not follow your plan where you take a full-time job and do part-time.
No,
you went
I
right away
wasn't able to do that because after I resigned from my first job, I went back to Mindanao because I was thinking, okay, what is the plan? Okay, go back to Cebu, get another full-time job that's based in Cebu, and then do photography. That was the first plan. So, okay, fine. I went back to Cebu, came here. But then in the back of my mind, I knew that I really wanted to do photography if I can do it full-time, wedding photography. So I was applying for jobs at the same time I was doing freelance. And then I was just hoping and praying that maybe the photography gig will come first than the job. Then I had a job. I got hired right away again, and again it's also another traveling job.
All right.
That's gonna be based again in Manila, but I'm still here in Cebu, so there's still a chance going in and out. So I'm like, okay, I think you can't really have but like I can't really have both. I have to really risk it. So that's the time when I had this freelance job, and I met a coordinator and a stylist.
Okay.
I was just very lucky. It's just also luck.
Yeah.
So I went to that gig. I just I did what I did what I had to do, shoot and have fun. And then they saw my work and they felt like you have a potential, and they think that way.
What year was this?
That was around 2015, around April. Yeah. I never really thought about that because I didn't have the gears. I wasn't ready. I didn't have the team. I was just freelancer. So after that, they told me, okay, maybe we should give you like a project. And I said like, the thing about the universe, if you just say yes to the universe,
love that.
there will be a lot of doors opening for you. So I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know I want this. So that's it. I just said yes. Then I called my friends, the people that I know in the industry. I asked for help. Hey, do you want to shoot for me? Then as I was doing this, there was already an image in my mind that this is what I'm gonna do. But then I didn't know that in firsthand. It just happened because I said yes to the universe.
So I would say things that you like kind of unraveled to you as you decided to step forward into your dream.
Yeah, exactly. And that was it. After that first gig, people started to like notice, and then they kind of my client, they were both satisfied, and the coordinator was satisfied. So it was more on the service that you give them than the quality of the work. After that, they gave me another project, and then another project. It wasn't like boom right away. It was like gradual,
All right.
and
And it was like enough to pay the bills for you.
enough to pay the bills for me because I was, living alone. But then
Right.
I was living alone in the city. Cebu is also an expensive city, and I have
Yeah,
to
it is
pay for
now.
everything. Yeah, I have to pay for everything for the bills. I have bills to pay
Rentals.
because again, I wanted to prove to my dad that this is what I really wanted to do, and I had to do it on my own. So it was like
That's a interesting. So, like, can you tell us about that? Does your dad normally? Your parents would have like a vision for you.
Yeah. My dad never understood photography because they just think that it's just taking photographs. How can you make money out of it? It's a lack. There's a lack of information and knowledge regarding what I do.
So interesting. So now I think it's the best time to educate everybody, including me and Dave. Like,
Yes.
what for you is photography and what makes it special?
Okay, photography has a lot of facets actually, but then you have to focus on what you're really good at. You can't be good at everything, like landscape, product shoot. You can do everything. You can be jack of all trades, but then again, there should be one thing that you can really, really do good at. You can be really, really good, be good at. So I realized that I'm really interested in taking portraits, people shots. I'm really, really interested in the story of the photograph. And then, what's the lucrative photography these days? Weddings. People get married almost every month, like every week, and every
Every
day.
day.
We don't even know. Yeah,
That's
there's a
kinda like-
there's a big market there for
Yeah.
wedding. So, wedding and then photography. It was a perfect match.
Right.
But then, how do I get into the industry?
Yeah.
Because actually, photography and industry, they're very different. Photography is a form of art. Industry is
Right.
professional.
So you're a lot of people go to. I think there was a time. I think it's still the case where a lot of people bought their own DSLRs.
That was
You
like the
remember that?
hype.
That was a fad. Yeah, the hype time for that. Like everyone was a photographer.
Right.
Everyone was a
DSLR,
concert, street
you're a
photography.
photographer.
Right.
Yeah, so
Fun shoots.
that was I think about 2012,
Yeah,
2010.
definitely.
Yeah, so there was that time, and then I think it a lot the wannabes kind of like
Faded out.
faded out. They stick with their phones now with their selfies.
That's the thing about photography. It's just a form of art. It is a form of art. Some take it really seriously. Some just want to take photographs because they feel like doing it. But then if you put photography and industry together, it's like it's a commitment.
Right.
Because for example, me, I'm a photographer. It's my art. I just want it to be for myself. But then I have to do it because for me to earn. So it's business. There's an industry.
Right.
So when I put my art out there, it's not just mine anymore.
It's for everyone.
It's not just mine anymore. I have
Yeah.
to
It's
remind myself that it's for everyone.
right.
Yeah, it's consumption of everyone.
So like for example, when you commit to a wedding,
Mm-hmm.
it's more of like it's a shared art now because
Mm-hmm.
there's a memory and kind of
There's actually stakeholders now.
right. um, I don't know. This is just a thought that
Mm-hmm.
that came to my mind. And you've been shooting for what, 2 years now?
Yeah, for 2 years now.
How many weddings that like more or less?
I can't really remember more than 50 definitely.
Wow. Okay, so 50 couples. Let's just say 50. And I don't know. Nakadungog lang ko with other photographer, but he said like, oh, it came to a point now that they were only, that the feel
What do you
the
mean?
feeling side of shooting has wala na. It became
Ah,
a
yeah,
technical
yeah,
thing.
the art thing, the excitement. You were
Right,
saying.
because it's like they see couples, they're so in love, and they take shot, and they kind of the way I like photography is that it's kind of they solidify that moment, they freeze that moment, and then like when you go back, you say, oh, this is how exactly how I feel. But meaning in that photographer that I kind of I just overhear it. He said na kanang kadugayan daw nawa na ako ng fun ba. It becomes work for them. Have you had a chance to feel that way?
Well, I think in everyone that's doing what they love and making it as their job as well. That's why they say you don't make your hobby your job because you hate it.
Yeah.
But then it's normal because sometimes you just get, burn out. It's like any other jobs. But for me, what I always remind myself is that I would every time I shoot weddings, it's always a hype feeling. I'm always like happy. I don't know about with that photographer, but I think it's
I
normal.
think he was happy.
Eh,
but
he
then
was
now-
happy, but he was
now it's
burnt
like,
out.
oh, this is probably my nth wedding, and I'm like,
That's why you have to
I've
also
seen every single kiss that can be done.
definitely, but maybe it's also a matter of you need to refresh yourself. You need to engage yourself into some some other form of inspiration,
Yeah. How do you do that in your case?
I get inspiration from other photographers as well.
Right.
Like, oh, I really love the way he shoots or the way she shoots the
Right.
wedding, and I want to emulate that as well, but then put my type of taste
Right.
or take
Sure.
on it, and then do something that's not photography at all. Like that's why for me, I like to travel to
Yeah.
to see the
That's
world and
great,
meet other people. It's like a break, and then I go back to photography. It inspires me because it feeds my soul as well.
All right.
So yeah.
Cool. So now you've been doing photography, and then what happened next? Like, did you now you're co-founding this film
Oh yeah,
company?
yeah. So I'm doing photography for 2 years now. It's still very fairly new
Yeah,
because
yeah.
compared to other brands, mostly you have to stake until 5 years. Then
Right.
things are gonna get standard. The flow of clients every month.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course there were like days that you don't really get weddings like in a week. So those are like the rainy days. But there are also months that you
You
get
get-
you get like, can you just get married on a different date? Like somehow you just wish because you're getting married on the same date that
Sure.
all of them.
Like, and I know someone. I know someone who shoots. I think he's more of a videographer,
Mm-hmm.
and now he's kind of like. I think he gets his wife to take the other wedding when there's like a schedule. So are you in that point where in like, oh, we're expanding in such a way, like how do you
Oh, okay.
replicate that
Ah,
feel?
okay. For me, I think this is different in different photographers. But for me, I value quality and customer service and satisfaction. So for me to be able to do that is I have to do that on my own
Yeah.
and with me looking over the team. So right now, I try my best to not like double book
Yeah.
because I want to make sure that the team is ready and they're ready to deliver the exact same quality that I will give my client if I am there. So right now, I'm still not doing that, but definitely there are already inquiries that have the same dates, and somehow I'm tempted to say yes, because it's money.
But the thing is, they're paying like like your photography is like your name.
Yeah,
It
it's
has your
my
name
name.
on
Yeah,
it, right?
exactly.
So in a way, like if I'm gonna hire you,
Yeah.
and someone else shows up, I mean,
That's the thing. That's the usual mistake that's happening in the industry. But for me, that's very avoidable if you just talk to the clients
You
and
make
make
them
it
understand.
like for example me. Okay, this is Seph Aparente. I am Seph Aparente Folios. I'm already booked on that date, ma'am. But then if you still want to avail my team, I won't be shooting. But I know that these people will have the same quality
vet
as
them,
I
yeah.
am. You just tell them, and if they're gonna say yes, then great.
Yeah.
If they won't, then at least I'm telling you, right? And
Right.
I'm being honest with you, rather than them being shocked on their wedding day that you're not there, and they're gonna.
Well,
"Where's
anyway,
Seth?"
the
Like,
groom and the bride will be too busy to think about
oh
that.
no, 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 no!
No,
When
they still
the
care.
groom and the bride would really know, and they'd
Nah, I'm just
really like
kidding, guys.
look for you.
I'm just gonna ask about
Mm-hmm.
the business wise of your you've mentioned team in your photography business. So can you explain to us what your team looks like?
So, Seph Aparente Folios is led by me. So, I'm basically the creative director and the main photographer. So, what I do is I curate everything, I lead the team. And then the team is mostly composed of like 4 people, 3 photographers and an assistant. Depends on the package that the client will get. So, these people will shoot the whole day for your wedding.
So you're more of an on day photographer.
We are actually project based. So
Okay.
my team, they're not really exclusively working for me. They have day jobs or they're like
Or do
freelancers.
you work for someone else's or no?
They can work. They're freelancers because for me, since I'm still very young, the brand is still young. We cannot afford to actually
In-house them, right?
in-house them yet. Because in the wedding industry, there you get more money when you're a freelancer. So you cannot just block them because they can shoot and shoot and shoot for everyone else.
But you consider yourself as a freelancer?
No, I'm not a freelancer
you're
because
more
I
of
don't
a-
shoot for anyone else.
Okay.
I just shoot for my brand, and my brand
That's
is me.
good.
So what happens is that in the team, I just hire them project based dates. So I book them by date. Like for example, hey, Joe, we have weddings. These are the dates that we're booked for the whole month of July. Then Joe is my partner freelance, so he basically we have this contract that every time I have a wedding, I'm your priority. So that's depends on how you negotiate with your shooter, your team. Yeah. Then I also have teams that shooters that I actually um train, so they exclusively shoot for me. So that's the goal to make my team exclusively shoot for me.
All right.
Yes, to be part of the team, to be actually just us.
Part of the brand.
Because that's the thing. There might be a chance that what you're doing will be easily replicated by others.
Yeah. So let me talk about like the traffic basically towards here. So, like, you've experienced this. You have experienced two full years, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what normally are the months that are like there's so much booking, and then what are the
That's a
months?
good question. Most people think that the June month of June is
Yeah,
the month where people
I'm
get
guessing
married.
December is probably
Yeah, here in the Philippines, it's December because by that time there will be a lot of leaves.
and more money
Family
also.
will come in from the holiday, so it's easier to actually hey, come to my wedding. You don't have to pay for their airfare and all.
Right.
And the bonuses are coming
Yeah,
in.
13 months and
Yeah, so they
alright.
want to take advantage on that part of the month.
So, so you have a team, right? I'm just gonna
Mm.
kind of rotate back. Just so how do you like? Let's say if you don't mind me asking, what's like your base or go to rate or basic package?
Oh,
for-
basic package. So, so that's
You
for
can give us an range.
average. So the range for the package that we have is around 25 to 60,000. That's for the photo only, because we're only a photography wedding service.
But you cater for videos as well.
No, we don't.
You don't
We don't.
really.
Yeah,
So-
because I'm a firm believer that
Photography.
you should do one thing that you're really good at. So
That's
that's
really good.
photography for me.
So like you just do the math with your team for if example if it's let's say 20,000, so you do the
Like for the base, like 25, and then
25. So you just how much does a freelancer cost? How many people do you need for a 20,000?
for it depends, because the rates depend on, for example, if you have your own gear, then that appraises your value as a
That's for the
freelancer.
freelancer, right?
Oh, yeah.
So if you
And
supply them the gear, then it's
then
gonna be lesser,
you only get to pay for their
like manpower.
manpower, yeah, for their shooting rate.
Can you like give me a number for that?
It depends, actually. It depends but I cannot speak for everyone.
Yeah.
I cannot definitely speak, because there are a lot of the thing about the wedding industry is like it's a big piece. It's a big pie. You can always have a
Piece of a
piece of
puzzle.
the pie.
Yeah.
So I can speak for everyone, because sometimes the rates doesn't really make your value, because the people need to understand that the wedding industry here in Cebu is very different with the wedding industry in Manila.
Explain.
Why? Because Manila rates are very, very high, very high, and there's always a huge market there.
When you say very high, what does that?
Oh, you can
Like-
you can have like around 80 to 120, like
Yeah.
200. Jason
Yeah,
Urbano,
Jason
like,
Urbano is like
like
250 or something.
250K. Metro Photo is like 250K. So it's also more on where you are based. So Cebu, we all know that Cebuanos are very, very particular with quality, and also the money that they're
hard to
shelling
please.
out. Yeah, they're hard to please.
I
They
don't know
don't want
why.
to spend so much, which is not a bad thing at all.
Yeah.
But that's why that's the part where how do you thrive? How do you make these people how do you make these people understand that this is what you are worth? Like, how do you sell yourself?
Okay, so how do you do that?
So for me, I usually focus on three things. So this is my value as a professional and as an artist. So first thing is the quality of my work. So the quality of my work should be for me, the best that I can offer in every single wedding that I have. I should not like settle for like just good lang. It needs to be really, really good for me. That's the quality. And then customer satisfaction, because we're a services industry, photography.
How do you rate that, by the way? How
Um,
can you tell if there's
If the client is very happy with the photographs, they will tell you, "Hey, Saf, I'm very, very happy that you get to take our photographs." You can read my reviews, by the way, in my Facebook page if you wanna really, yeah, give me a 5 star. Read a 5 star. So usually, you will notice that people would actually talk more about the experience that they had when you are shooting them than the photos that they get.
Yeah. So what type of feeling do you usually tell you like, oh, this is what I feel during?
The photos are so beautiful. You're really good. You captured what we are really as a couple. So that is the best thing for me.
All right.
That's the best thing for me.
the second one? What's it?
The third one is consistency. Like consistency. Like you can be good at this, and then you can serve a client like this because you're in a good mood.
For the quality.
Yeah. For these two, the consistency.
So interesting, like because you don't always feel
Yeah.
like A at the same
D-
like
Dang,
a
man,
high, right?
that's true.
There are
Like
days that-
you're just
Especially
human.
with creatives, right?
I get frustrated. I get creators artist block,
right.
and there are also like personal problems that you get to encounter. But then you're shooting a wedding. Oh my God, it's the happiest moment of
Even
someone's
though you have a
life.
heartbreak, you have to like.
Yeah,
you have to be in
definitely. You
love.
have to shoot and feel love.
Always be in love.
Very ironic.
Right. It has to. You have to capture that moment.
So
and-
you have
yeah.
to actually
Okay,
channel
interesting.
yourself and be professional. No, that's the thing. Photography industry. You're not just an artist. You're also a professional.
But at first you didn't have that brand, right?
Yeah,
You didn't have like.
I didn't have Seph Aparente
You're
for-
not Seph. What's your last name? I
Seph
forget.
Aparente
Aparente
folios.
for when you were starting. How did you made that brand into, something people would look for?
An additional question is like, how did you decided that you're gonna make a brand? Not just
Out of your-
like
Yeah.
right? I mean, like everybody, like I said, like back in 2012 or something, 2011,
Everyone's a
2012,
photographer.
everyone has a DSLR, and nobody have thought of, oh, I'm gonna make a brand.
Mm.
How do you arrive to that?
I think for me, it really helped that I was a psychology graduate, because I already knew what I wanted, even though I didn't have it. So that was my goal. The goal is to get there. I don't know how, but that the goal is to get there. So the brand in my mind is that first thing, I want it to be my name, because it's easier for people to identify you as a person, and it's easier for people to actually remember you or the brand. So that is Seph Aparente. So everything about me needs to reflect Seph Aparente. Everything that I post on social media, everything that I do is out there.
So you're
It's not just me. It's not, you don't really get to be like, just you. You're also putting a part of yourself in your brand.
okay. So I'm wondering about that because like you're not just doing wedding photography. You're actually building your name and your brand. And
Yes,
how it look
exactly.
like. So how does your regular social media, Facebook post photos? Do you curate it? Do you put a lot of time thinking about that?
That's the thing, because I'm usually I'm the one who's running everything, my website, my Facebook page, my personal account. So the reason why I make a Facebook page is because I didn't want to post that much personal related, nothing personal, but just Facebook weddings. So I'm 25. My friends are not getting married soon. Maybe my siblings, my ates. So it's a matter of shelf life also. So you have to think that your people, your network are getting, usually people get married around 27, 28 to 35. Those are the people who actually can afford you with their own money. So right now, I'm trying to post as much as possible wedding related or photography related. And yeah, definitely I curate it.
So I didn't notice this because we're actually friends in Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and so I never really think about your page. I see you as like a person with a camera.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't notice this. Do you post your work in your page and then just share it in your Facebook? How does?
In my Facebook page, everything is wedding related or portrait related.
Oh, so now it's like merch.
That's
Yeah.
a page.
That's the page, the
That's
Seph
not your
Aparente
profile.
folios. And then my
Personal profile.
personal profile, I just share it. I share
share
it. I share the album. Sometimes I post like single photos or 2, 3, 4 like
Right.
updates.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I still have a part of my personal life in Facebook, but then I try to just make it more about 90% about weddings.
You just figure it out. It's
Yeah.
find a sweet spot.
Yeah,
right?
sweet spot.
So I do have a question. Like right now, where do people actually find you? Where do people contact you? Is it by referral or more of the Facebook page or Instagram?
So for now, I'm really working on my website. So I'm trying to build on the SEO. So because I'm aiming for destination wedding.
Oh, okay.
So
Destination wedding is what?
destination wedding photography means that you will fly in and out from your based city.
Wow.
So I've done that for Boracay. I went to Taipei, and I also went to Manila to shoot weddings. So that's the goal.
Amazing.
So I have a question
For wedding.
about
For
this
website.
because you mentioned that Manila rates are way higher than Cebu. Have you thought of having an office or some presence in Manila?
That's the reason why I am trying to get into the wedding destination thing, because I don't have to be physically present there. I just need my website, and you just need. And these people, the good thing is that the people in Manila are now aware that there are good photographers in other cities outside Manila that they can book, and they can actually get in a not in a par rate,
Yeah.
and still they can still get really good photographs.
yeah. So I think
And we get more out of it because they have bigger rates. So
yeah. So I think if I don't know if you've missed the question, but so the bulk of your inquiries.
yeah,
rather,
going back to the question, the
Yeah.
bulk of my inquiries usually still is in Facebook.
Facebook.
is a very, very big,
very powerful.
powerful social media.
In your page or in your is it
in
like
my
a personal
page,
network?
in my page.
Your page.
So
Okay, that's
you just
interesting.
get to sponsor an album.
Oh, you like paid ads.
Yeah,
You do
paid
that.
ads. It's very cheap.
Yeah,
Like
let's dig deep.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a bit
yeah.
about that.
Okay,
Like how much do you
so,
spend for
like for example,
Facebook
in a
ads?
week I just spent for like 400 to 500 Facebook ads. I get like this much of likes. This
400 pesos.
400
500
pesos for
So
like seven
roughly
days.
around 2,000 a month. Like 500
I
per
don't
week.
do that every week.
Oh, you don't do
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
It depends on like which album I want to
I see.
sponsor. Yeah, and right now I'm taking it slow. Okay, I think I know my timeline. So maybe next year we're gonna do full on social media presence. But
Yeah.
now we're actually learning the ropes so that me myself will know how much does it cost, how effective is this.
We're actually
Facebook
Joe and
is
I are
really,
actually
really
focusing on that as well.
How technical? How deep do you want to go with this? Or do you like do you look at your engagement?
Yeah.
Are these numbers something that
yeah.
you really look at?
Yeah, I really look at it. For example, I'm boosting my page, my Facebook page. It's different. So that's the part where you get a lot of likes in your page. Then you get to boost your album, a specific album that gets likes, and then presence of your work.
Right.
But then the goal is to be able to get as much likes. So currently we have like 9,000 likes for our page.
Facebook
Facebook page. We're going to 10,000. So that's good because we've been in Facebook for 2 years, and we're planning to actually putting it in a higher scale for the people that we're reaching. So Facebook is really, really good. And then also aside from Facebook, word of mouth.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
Right after the wedding reception, there's this thing called SDE. Before,
edit.
same day edit.
So you have the
So-
same day edit for photos, right?
Photos. So that is the best time for me to be able to showcase what I can really give my clients
Alright.
in the actual wedding day. Because these people that are watching your SDE in the reception,
Or
they're
possibly
actually
your next
possible
clients.
potential clients.
Really good.
So if they see it and they're really, wow, that's really good. It's always like a make or break. Every time I watch my SDE, it's always like, oh, okay, this is great. Or like, I hope this is
So
gonna
you
go.
prepare your cards right after.
Yeah, definitely people would,
Ask
if
about
they
it.
really are interested with, getting to know your service, then they would go and, hey, can I, or the goal is at least they remember you. They remember and
Your
they,
brand sticks
they
with
talk
them.
to you. And then the clients themselves, they're like our walking advertisements, because they like tell their friends, hey, it's really good, my photography is really good. You should because wedding is a very intimate thing. You don't
Yeah.
want some random photographer take photos of you.
I actually have like two questions that I'm. But I have the main question I have is like, How does like your monthly bookings look like or weekly?
So right now, actually, they're doing good. The projection is doing good.
What is good?
Good is you have 4 weddings in a month.
Wow. So that's like
One
once per
wedding
week.
per week. That's
Alright.
good for me. That's already good. That's good enough. Definitely.
And perhaps in your package you like secure about 50-60% of it, or
Yeah,
if
you,
you don't
you,
mind
you
me
just
asking.
you just try to it depends on you actually. If
Because you have a team,
you're a
right?
really big spender, you can definitely spend it right away.
Right.
But then for me, it's good. You can secure around 60, 70,
Yeah.
50, 60, depends on you.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Also, yeah, and the next question.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
So I've heard this somewhere that big photographers, because brands and the in the other side of the world, in the Western culture,
mhm.
one of the big photographer there is they choose clients, especially if they have a lot of bookings. They choose the better looking one.
Oh,
That's
okay,
that. I'm really
Is it?
curious
Is
about
it, is
that.
it a thing?
Yeah,
I think
because it affects the photo.
I think it also depends actually on the photographer, but me honestly just well I'm very young and I'm really looking forward to the growth that I will have. But then for me, as for my value, what I believe in is that this is a wedding and this is a client that really wants me to take his or her photograph. So if I am available, I would never say no to them, because who am I to say no to capturing the moments that you want me to capture. So it's a matter of values as well. If you want your art first, then your client for
So there's a generic question because you like we haven't gone through the your latest project, which is Saunder.
yeah, going
Yeah.
back to
So
that.
can you briefly talk about that and how did you went to that point of building that startup?
Okay, so before I even started the photography thing, I used to be a videographer. So FYI, I used to shoot wedding videos, but then I realized I wanted to do photography more because I can actually, you know, oversee it better than video. So, but then here comes the opportunity after a year that my good friend Sylvester is a really good editor, and we were talking about, hey, how can we actually still do videos, because that's what we really love doing as well. So we he has this freelance thing going on that he edits wedding videos from clients in Canada, Australia, and the US. And just ship their files here and we edit it. And I told him, hey, we can actually make a business out of that. Oh, what if we make a post production house? So that's where Sonder came in. It happened, just happened that day, and then we were like saying, yeah, you can train like one or two editors, and you can start small, and let's see how it goes. So that's the reason why we're here in A Space actually, because we're renting a space here for Sonder, so that we will have a place that we can actually edit or meet, and they have really fast internet. That is what we need, because the clients just send it
Clients are
over
freelancing,
online.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Files
Dropbox.
are so
Yeah.
big also.
Yes, definitely, and they have a physical office. If our clients just wants to ship the
Yeah,
hard
yeah.
drives, they can. There's always someone who will receive it for us, because we're always on call shooting.
All right.
So this is something that we don't really have to be always there, but then we are still very hands on.
Let there be light. So I have one last question for you, Seph. It is this. What advice can you give to someone who wants to start out? Not necessarily similar to what you're doing now, which is wedding photography. They might be like, I met someone who's like they want to do like fashion type business or designing, etc., etc., and they have the same fears that you mentioned and same apprehension. What advice can you give them?
Well, sorry. So first thing is that have a vision, a clear vision, at least clear enough for you to understand and grasp on it, so that it will be the guiding light, because you don't know what's gonna happen along the way. So have a vision and commit to yourself. This is not just passion that will fade out. You have to commit yourself to it. It's hard work. Like start up is harder than your regular job. You have to understand that because it's harder than your regular 8 hours. You even have to spend almost like 24 hours
Right.
doing that. So you just have to commit yourself. And always remember that give yourself a timeline, a realistic timeline. You can't just, chase your dreams forever, even though you know that, this might
If it's
really
not working.
yeah, if it's not working. It's normal.
It's
Sometimes
knowing when
it
to quit.
works. Yeah, it's
And-
knowing when to quit.
Right.
And then
Interesting.
you just need to put that reality check on yourself. Like sometimes people are very egocentric, so they're afraid that this is definitely not working. People told you so, this is not gonna work.
Right.
But then you just have to change your perspective and tell yourself, I learned what are the things that you learned. So definitely it's good to have a realistic point of view.
Okay, so I lied. I didn't have one question. This is my last question. I apologize. Dave.
You always lie. Just
no,
kidding.
no. My question is, are you always this way, or did someone train you? Do you have mentors? Because like you're 25 years old, and I met a lot of 25 years old.
Very good question.
Right?
They
I mean-
don't have any idea where they are now.
Yeah, if I
Basically.
like, I would ask people who are like 30 on their 30s, and I would say like, what do you want to do with your life? And
Some of them
I
can't
get
even answer.
a really quiet response. And like for you, I felt like you've always been like precise with what you want. My question is, are you always been this way? Are you born this way, or someone taught you, or are you still being like someone is teaching you right now?
So I think we're all born in the same way. Like we don't really know what we want at some point. But then for me, I think we in the family we've always strive for success. So success for us is being able to live the life that we want and the freedom to actually do the things that we want. And yeah, so my siblings, my sisters are actually they have really good careers. They live in New Zealand right now, and they were my best inspiration, even though I don't have the typical job. So
Right.
for me, also as a person, I'm a firm believer that I should be open to opportunities and then work hard for it. It's always working hard. You don't just wake up and become a millionaire. You just don't wake up and have food in the table. You just have to wake up and then
Hunt.
work hard and work smart. I've learned that it's not just about working hard. It's also about working smart. So what's the difference? For an 8-hour job, you don't really work 8 hours. You can even finish the work for 4 hours. So what you do in the rest of the hours, you just, do something that's relaxing and learn. Like, yeah, work smart so you can save more time, working and doing something productive and good for your soul. So yeah, for me, I think I've always been driven.
Okay.
So I really encourage people that are young out there that it's not just, don't let people tell you, hey, you're so young, you can still do a lot of things. Why not do it now? I mean,
Right.
so that in the next 5 years I can do something else better. So like,
Yeah.
it's a
Message
challenge.
really reflect me because I'm young.
Good answer. I feel like I'm the oldest person. So. All right. So thank you, Seph. I think at this point we'd like to share, our thoughts from
Takeaways, yeah.
our takeaways. Yeah, Dave, would you like to start?
Yeah, so if you've noticed, Seph here, I think this is easily one of the best podcasts that we had.
All right.
right?
That's true. That's true.
I would say so.
We always invite interesting people.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
That's the strength of our
her
podcast.
answers were really good. So, one thing that I've taken from this interview is that the vision is very powerful, and I think she was able to define that in a way that makes it understandable for most people because you don't really know how to get to where you want to be, but just having that clear picture of what it is, and you don't know where you're going, but you're on your way. So like it became like a compass for her, her true compass and how to get there. And eventually she's figuring it all out. Everything else you'll figure it out as long as you know where you're heading. So just keep on going, and that's I think one of the best things I've learned today.
Yeah, thank you, Dave.
Joseph.
Mine would be its cousin, which is work. Because in the age where people desires to just take on vacation where the goal is to have a really good selfie in a place somewhere. Sometimes the idea of really working to, I mean, it's like it's
Are you talking about me taking
no.
selfies? Just kidding.
Now I'm talking about
Should not
this
take
culture.
selfies now.
I'm talking about a culture where
Yeah.
like, because in social
So
media,
fake, right?
yeah, in
Everything.
social media you get a lot of beach, especially beach photos, but that didn't tell the whole story. There's a work that took place in order for that vacation to be possible, in order for that trip, for the travel abroad to be possible. And to me, it's very important when I hear you saying, "Oh, I have to work hard," and there is a work that entails for success. And I could not agree more. I mean, it's the perfect thing, because like, if you have a dream, you have to be willing to work for it. And like what you said, like in the morning, you wake up, you can't expect that the food is served. uh, it's the hunt, you know. But of course, the other side of that is the way you reward yourself, which is what you see in Facebook. So to me, that's what I'm taking from the desire. And I'd like everybody who's listening to the show is like, don't be afraid to work and work hard. Don't be afraid to pay, just to express not just art, but really to really work for your dreams. So that's my takeaway.
Yeah.
All right, so now we will go to our
Our lightning round.
We don't have special effects, so we'll just manually say this. All right, so Sephi, can you first question? Wait, sorry. For those guys who are new to the show, we will ask our guest 5 questions that she will answer really quickly, and
Repeat it
it
all
will
the
give you a
time.
snapshot of what she's like. If you haven't captured that, during the interview. So the first question is, I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's a typical day. Look,
Your typical day looks like. What your typical day looks like?
So typical day, I wake up. I don't wake up early. I wake up at around 10, 11, and then take a bath. Remind myself the things that I need to finish. Sometimes, it's tempting that you don't have a boss and yourself is your boss. But I always remind myself I need to finish something productive today, some project today. So and then I go here. I come here in A space, or I go to the place where I shoot if I'm shooting. So it's just editing or shooting. So that's my typical day of work day.
What keeps you
yeah,
sharp and motivated?
motivated.
So what keeps me sharp and motivated? I love talking to other creatives in the same industry, or even not in the same industry, but have the same motivational driven character. Because I'm a firm believer that you should surround yourself with smarter people than you, better people than you, so that you can learn more, so that there is no such thing as being stagnant. So that is what makes me sharp. I talk to people smarter than me. I talk to people that has more wisdom than me, so I can learn not just in the business but also growing myself, my character.
Awesome. Exactly what we're doing in the big picture.
Exactly what we're doing. That's why we're talking. So the next question is: do you consider yourself, like, at your young age, successful already?
Yeah, so yeah, that's a very good question, because success is very subjective, depends on different people. But for me, I can say that I am successful because I'm happy about what I'm doing right now. I've never been happier with the job that I have. I feel like I'm very blessed. Rather, I'm very blessed and lucky and successful that I have a good I'm doing good with my career, and also I'm meeting really genuine people and a good community, a really really beautiful community here in A Space. A Space.
All right, down to my last question. Actually, it's so a lot of our fellow Filipinos, so once we live here in the Philippines, for those who are listening outside the country, but yeah, we are Filipinos, and we have a lot of brothers and sisters who are somewhat forced, or have that notion in their mind that there's always a greener pasture outside the country, or even here working in a corporate life, or stuck in a job that they don't like, and here you are now doing things that you love, like photography. Who would have thought that you could earn money from it? So what's your message to those people who were still stuck into that, or who was wanting to, get a jump or want to jump
Take a
into
leap.
this, take a leap. Yeah.
So I know it's very cliche. People always say that there's always a greener pasture in the on other countries or other than the Philippines. But I'm a firm believer also again that it's a matter of perspective, and maybe just maybe you just haven't plowed the field that well. So the
So many
pasture
quotable
wasn't.
quotes
Words of
here.
wisdom here.
From a 25-year-old.
Because
Let's not
really
talk
there are
ages.
so many things that you can do. There's so many things that you can do
Awesome.
that if you just find what you're really good at, people just settle. Usually, people just settle for things because it's safe, it's secure. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. It's definitely great for you, but then that's the reason why people have greener pastures because they never really, just stick to what's normal. They try to plow the field harder, and then actually, do more than the usual.
Awesome.
There are a lot of things that you can do here in the Philippines. Trust me.
Yes.
As long as you're just creative, you're just driven,
It's more
and
fun in the Philippines.
you're willing to work hard.
Yeah.
There are opportunities here.
So the last question is the hardest question, and it is this: where people can find you.
So where you can just crash here in East Bay, Cebu. So you can find me
Physically and virtually.
Yeah.
virtually. You can check my website at www.sephaparente.com, and you can also check me out in Facebook for my personal account. It's Seph Aparente, and then my business account is Seph Aparente Folios.
Can
So
you,
that's
can
the
you
brand.
spell it out, by the way?
Seph Aparente is SEPHAPARENTE.
Right.
Folios FOLIOS. So
All
that's it. So physically, I'm usually here in Crossroads most of the weekdays because that's the
Unless
editing
you're in a
time.
wedding.
And a wedding, those are usually in the weekends. Maybe we can, bump into each other in some hotel here. Hi. Just say hi.
All right. So you could find all those links, the things that we've mentioned on this show at our show notes page. That's the bigpicture.ph/episode 16. And of course, Seph, if you are getting married soon,
We're getting married soon.
we have Seph here, and
Call my name.
she could, she could connect you with the best individuals perhaps in Cebu. So that was a wrap, Joseph.
That's a wrap.
So
Seph, thank you so much for being our guest. So great guest, and I agree with Dave. This is definitely one of the best interviews that we have.
Thank you so much,
And
guys.
it's so much fun to do it here with you. And so we're
so much fun in A Space as well.
it's so much
Very
fun in
good.
a space. I hope they're gonna get us a space. No, I'm kidding. Right. So guys, thank you so much. Please, did you say it already? Like us on Facebook, subscribe on
We're
YouTube.
everywhere. So please
And
do,
if you have questions,
yeah,
please comment. We'll definitely, we'd like to talk to you, and
yeah.
just reach out to you.
And just a little, like, a snippet, or what do you call this? Teaser to everyone. We're actually, me and Joseph are forming a lot
Oh
of
yeah.
big plans for the big picture. So if you want to learn more about those plans, or get an idea what
We're launching
those
something.
Are. Yeah, we're something big.
So we're not gonna
We're not gonna tell you that
but
just
we're launching
yet.
something.
So you go onto our Facebook groups. That's where our community basically is for now. And maybe Seph could join there, and the big
Yeah.
picture, the Philippines group, and we'll interact with awesome individuals like those who we are interviewed before. So
Oh,
we
yeah.
get there, and you could
That's
ask
fun.
them as well
So
questions
much fun.
there. So that's the best way to connect with us, and that's it. That's for episode 16 of the Big Picture, and
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
bye bye.